Welcome back. I'm so happy to be on here with you today. As I'm recording this, as I'm here, it's Valentine's Day, the day of love. So what better way to celebrate Valentine's Day than to be on here with you lovely people, spreading love and joy and happiness. So today I'm going to talk about how to close a sales call. It's the scariest, the biggest thing that people worry about when they're first starting out as an entrepreneur or first starting a business. They feel like they can bring in the leads, maybe put up a few ads, people might contact them, but then how do I convince them to give me their hard-earned cash in exchange for what I have? So it's not as scary as you make it out to be, okay? Especially if you're brand new. I know you think it's like really, really scary and there's no way people are gonna buy from me and they're gonna smell my desperation from a mile away. And if you give off that desperate vibe, yes, you're right, they will. But what you have to remember is a sales call, and I don't even like to call them sales calls, I like to call them strategy calls, because a sales call is really just a chance for you to connect with your people, to connect with your tribe, to learn more about them and what they need and how to tailor your services around that, right? So, I'm just getting messages here. So that's what you really need to go in there looking at. You have to think of it as getting on a call with a friend, okay? It's not really about making that sale. I don't want you to worry about that. So the first step in closing a sales call or closing a strategy call is to get in the right mindset. So before you jump on this call, I really want you to get yourself hyped up and feeling excited to talk to someone new, to make a new online friend, and to figure out what your ideal client really needs from you, okay? So get yourself excited, and when you get on the call with them, really talk to them like you would talk to a friend, okay? So this is the next step. When you get on, I want you to just have, in the beginning of the sales call, just make them feel comfortable. You can talk about the weather. You can talk about something in your life, like your kid waking you up at 5 a.m. You can talk about something funny your client said to you earlier. Just make them feel comfortable as if you were talking to a friend or a colleague you've known for a long time. Just that chit-chat, banter, back and forth. Okay, now the next step to closing a sales call, and this is really the big secret of anyone who knows how to close sales calls. And I think a lot of, some guerrilla marketers, and there's a lot of books that are all about pushy sales, and that's not what I'm not about that at all. Okay, so the big secret to closing a sales call is to ask a lot of questions. Now, at first, you might think, well, they'll see right through that. They'll think I'm asking questions because I don't know the answer to their questions. And I know that's what you're thinking behind the scenes, but the truth is the psychology behind human buying is they want to feel heard. They want to feel like you care about what their problems are, right? They're jumping on this call assuming you're going to sell them. So the second you start asking them questions about what they need, what their problems are, and then you start giving them value and giving them step-by-step strategies to fix those problems, that's going to wow them. Okay, just to give you an example, before I hired my business coach, my fantastic business coach, Lacey Seitz, I was on a call with another coach. And I was this close to hiring this coach even before I got on the call with her. She had fantastic branding. She had a tribe of people backing her up saying that she's fantastic and she gets results, whatever. And then I get on the call with her. And I was leading the entire conversation. I was asking all the questions, and she had the right answer for all of the questions, perfect answer for all of my questions. But not once did she ask me a question about what I need. What are my problems? What is holding me back, right? So I was 1% away from just handing over this cash for, signing a 6-month contract with her, and I didn't because she didn't ask questions. Okay, so that just gives you an idea of the power of asking questions and being heard. When I got on my call with the second coach, the coach who I did hire, Lacey, she was asking all of the right questions, right? So some of the questions that you can ask, I always start with, what is your goal in your business for this year or the next 6 months? And they tell you your goal. Well, what do you feel is holding you back? What is your biggest issue here? Right? So you're asking questions that really make them think about what they need inside. And if you can, ask about the psychology of it as well, right? So Why do you feel that you are, or do you feel that you're sabotaging yourself by doing this? In what areas do you feel that you're sabotaging yourself? Okay, so when you're asking these deep questions or anything around their business, you're really showing them that you care. Now, as you're asking these questions, make sure you're taking note of what they're saying. Okay, so their biggest pain points, they're telling you exactly how to close them at the end of the call. All right, so ask all of these questions. And then as they're so if they tell you, for me as a copywriter, if someone says, I have a hard time expressing what I feel in words, or I have a hard time closing people in my copy because I don't want to come off as too salesy, right? Now I can give them an exact strategy right on the phone. I'll tell them what to do. I'll say, well, you should give 3 value points in your promotion, in your post first, get like a high value post, and then have 1 or 2 lines at the bottom that just promote your services, that say this exactly. And I'll tell them exactly what to say, right? So this shows that I know what I'm talking about, that I know it converts, and I'm not afraid to give them value up front. I'm not being stingy about what I know. Like, tell them as much as you know. Tell them as much as you can. Don't be like, oh, well, you need to buy my course to figure that out, right? That just screams like, I want your money, I don't care about you. So when you're on the call and you're asking these deep questions and clearly you care about them and you're giving value right now, like you're basically saying, I don't care if you hire me, I don't care if you give me money right now, I want you to take this information and go apply it and see what happens, okay? That is putting you in your power. Now you're saying, I'm the best, I make money, I know what I'm doing, I'm not afraid to tell you exactly what to do to get up to my level, okay? So do that, and then at the end, if you do that properly, usually, I'd say 80% of the time for me anyway, they will ask about my services. I don't even have to bring up the subject. They'll ask me, tell me about your services, right? If they don't ask, or if they do ask, which they usually do, if you do this properly and you give value, then at that point you say, well, it sounds like you need this, this, and this. And if you were taking notes, you're going to basically regurgitate exactly what they said to you. It sounds like you need help expressing yourself in your copy, closing the sale without coming off as salesy, and whatever else. Give the 3 points of what they need. I feel like I could do if we did this, and then give them a strategy, right? So I'll say, if we ran this ad to this landing page and gave this as an opt-in, and then put them through a 7-series email funnel, this is how you're going to convert. This is how you're going to get fully booked with leads. Okay. So that's the exact strategy, and I'll say I can write all of that copy for you, completely done for you. I would write this, this, and this for you. This is the investment. The investment is, $1,000 or $1,800 or whatever it is you want to sell it for. Okay, and then just be quiet. After you say the number, just be quiet, hold your mouth, like literally say nothing, and let them answer. Just because they're quiet doesn't mean they don't want to buy it, right? They're just trying to, everyone has sticker price or sticker shock. So they're just processing it. They're thinking, where can I get this money? They're thinking about all the value they're getting for that. And just let them talk first. So usually they'll be like, okay, and they're just thinking. So let them, wait for them to actually say something, either yes or no, okay? And then if they say something like, I don't know, or whatever it is, you can say, well, what do you feel is the next best step for you? Okay, this brings them back, this brings them out of their head and brings them back into their heart of what is the next step that I can take right now to get me closer to my goal, right? It brings them back to the long-term vision rather than the short-term sticker shock, okay? So that's it. That's really it. And tomorrow I'll talk about how to, if someone says, well, I need to ask my partner for help, or if it's okay, if I need to ask my spouse if it's okay, or, the money issues. Tomorrow I'll talk about if someone says they don't have the money, how to debunk that and get them closer to the sale. And again, I don't believe in pushy sales. So tomorrow we'll talk about that. So that's if they ask for your services. If they don't ask about your services, you can, again, give them value, give them lots of value up front, because if you give value, usually they'll come back to you later, right? If you're giving value up front, you're not being pushy in your sales. I'd say out of the 30 or the 20% that I don't close, probably 80% of them eventually come back to me because I showed my authority, I showed how much I know during the sales call. Okay, so if they don't ask about your services, then you can say, do you need support in this? Do you need more copy support? Do you need more business support? And then usually they'll say, yeah, tell me about what you offer. And then that brings you into what you can offer, right? So don't feel bad about mentioning the price, the one time at the end. If they say no, they say no. And there are ways to break that down and bring them back into their heart center, back into their long-term goals, which we will talk about tomorrow. But I hope this, makes you feel a little more comfortable with the sales calls. It's really not that scary. It is just a matter of talking to a friend. Talk to them as if you care about them, which you do care about them, right? That's why you got into this business, is to help people, not to hold all of your information in for a few bucks, right? So ask them, make them feel comfortable, ask them the right questions, be in the right mindset before you jump on that sales call. Give them value, give them a step-by-step strategy of how to fix their problems, and then talk about how you can offer the done-for-you solution for it, okay? So I hope that helps, and again, tomorrow we're going to talk about how to overcome the biggest obstacles, which is I don't have enough money, I need to ask my spouse, or things around that nature. So I hope you have a fantastic Valentine's Day, and I will talk to you tomorrow. Bye-bye.